I'm Lila of Nevillution, and today I'll be giving commentary on some of the best quotes in Neville Goddard's 1968 lecture, The Knowledge of God, and this will be set to the beautiful scenes of fall in my hometown. Neville says, "Someone once said, 'Do you always throw these pearls before swine?' And I replied, 'I do not meet any swine. I share my visions with all, and if they cannot accept them, they will leave them. But nothing will be lost. I will pick up all the scraps and put them back to be shared once again. I cannot become the critic and determine who should hear what. How do I know who is willing to completely surrender to God, or to what degree they will surrender? If not today, one day everyone will join that one body and know themselves to be the one Lord, one Spirit, one God and Father of all." Now, having had this awakening, Neville sees no difference, probably similar to Advaita beyond the dualities. So there's no judgment, what's right or wrong. All is God. He sees the open road, the bigger picture. While in Caesar's world, aka the 3D reality, we may have time. When mystics spiritually awaken, they feel themselves beyond time, the past, present, and future, all at once. But at the moment, many here may be operating through the human intellect, and that has its limits. But hearing the words of the great mystics is like a gentle alarm clock, stirring us all to wake back up to the one consciousness beyond words that we are, to transcend all human limitations in the stream of life we share. Neville goes on, "May I tell you, if the world rose in opposition to my words, it would make no difference to me, for my words will live forever, while all that took place this past week will be forgotten. Human history and everything man has ever accomplished will prove to be false. Every great accomplishment will be modified in time, many times. Even so-called facts will prove to be error. In the end, everything will be rubbed out, leaving no trace of ever having been present. For the one thing that is really forever is what God is bringing out of humanity, which is Himself. So in the end, there is nothing but God, only God. But in this world of Caesar, if one wants more of his fruits, let him have them." 8 years ago, when Nixon ran against Kennedy, a friend of mine sent Nixon my phonograph record, at which time he wrote the lady and thanked her for it, saying that it had been added to his library and that he would have many moments of joy listening to it. That year, he lost the election. 2 years later, Nixon lost his bid for governor of this state. But 4 years later, his dream came true. I am quite sure, with his background of listening to his inner voice, that my record, which was on the law and the promise, sparked something in him. On the record, I spoke of the difference between thinking of your desire and thinking from it. When you think from your desire's fulfillment and sleep feeling as though it were true, it becomes a fact. This is a simple technique to get things in this world. I'm going to pause for the moment to reflect on Neville's words. And eventually, when we know our own truth, we'll be the same way. We'll simply share it as we feel, and it won't matter which people agree or not. In the moment, sometimes we may feel something, and we may feel to press on to make our truth heard, accepted. And sometimes it may fall on deaf, stubborn, or even hostile ears. But now we will learn to just let go of that. We'll say our truth and let it be. There's no need to convince. Our lives will be the example. And I urge you too, to just learn to walk away. Where we are in this time and space and history, save your energy. Utilize it for something deeper and greater. And trust all is where it's to be, and all where our deepest, hardest visions, where they unite in harmony, will come to be, that it is done. And Neville touched upon how everything will be rubbed out. Doesn't it seem like that in a way already? You look around and you see all these changes. Many people don't even recognize their own country anymore. And you see so many things that were so familiar, that feel like the good old days now. And yet many may look with fear and horror, but it's all part of the divine plan. All the more that we cleave to come to know who we are divinely, and along with this, how to become unshakable, and to be able to manifest whatever it is we need or our heart truly wants. And may we be inspired by Neville's talk on Nixon. He lost the election. 2 years later, Nixon lost his bid for governor, and then 4 years later, his dream came true. So everybody here who isn't getting the things they want, especially things that seem very important, be willing to continue on, because when you do get it, it will be worth it. And some things you may feel you wanted by a certain date, a certain event, but please remember the core feelings underneath what we want: love, wealth, health, happiness, wisdom, and so forth. And though they may specifically come the way we want, may we also be open, however they also come, often as extra blessings. As we open to receive and trust, the things that are our heart's delights can come in ways even greater than we could have ever wished for. And Neville goes on, Nixon didn't win by an enormous majority, but he won. And these recordings that Neville had sent Nixon, I'll also put as a pinned comment, or in the info section underneath this video, links so that you can hear these recordings as well. And whatever you want in life, whatever you're doing, wherever you are, Neville's wisdom from this lesson, as well as from this audio file that even Nixon used, you too can also use in your life. Neville goes on, Nixon didn't win by an enormous majority, but he won. I firmly believe he did not just listen to my record once, but played it many times. When you know exactly what you want, you are thinking of your desire. Turn your thoughts around and think from its fulfillment. You can think from what you want and desire it forever, keeping it away beyond your reach. But when you think from its possession, your desire is yours. I'll show you what I do. While in Los Angeles, I think of San Francisco as 600 miles to the north. Closing my thoughts to Los Angeles, I imagine I am in a hotel room in San Francisco and think of Los Angeles as 600 miles to the south of me. When possible, I take a short nap in that awareness. Now, when I open my eyes, I find myself back here in Los Angeles, knowing from experience that within a short period of time, I will physically be in San Francisco. What an amazing technique to manifest. I know for some people it sounds so simple that it's hard to believe. And sometimes you just hear about it and you kind of feel you're doing it. But you really have to do it. Today's the day. Tonight, today. What is it you want to be? What is it you want to have? At some point in this day or night, forget where you are now. Forget what you have or don't have in the moment. And just like that, in the blink of an eye, the moment you close your eyelids, with the power of your imagination, your imaginative senses, you already are what you want to be. You already have what you want to have. When you think back to what was before, can you feel that difference? And when you do this, you too can take a little nap. So find that part of the day or night which will be best for you. And when you open your eyes, know that you took a powerful spiritual journey. And just like Neville's success, you too will become successful as well. Learning to use the power of your imagination, learning how you, the world, life, consciousness, truly operates. In closing, Neville says, not everyone who hears the truth will believe it, even though he seems to be so wise in the eyes of the world. So I say, I have yet many things to say to you, but you cannot hear them now. I am not speaking of the law. I am not speaking of the law. Mark puts that quite simply. Whatever you desire, believe you have achieved it and you will. I am speaking of the promise and urge you to search the scriptures. For if you do, you will find me there. And when you find me, you will know from experience that you and I are one. Now let us go into the silence. Good.